Hey guys, this is Fang Sesher VA here, and of course, if you're watching this on mine and Mizu's collecting channel, this is Kai from the DDC here. So I figured I would talk about the first time in 4 years. Has it been 4 years? These whole COVID years have been like a blur to me. But I want to discuss my experience of going to Mask Fest 2023 in the capital of my state, which is Indianapolis. Now, I call it Mask Fest. If I call it by its true name, people might think I'm saying something else, and I don't want to risk the monetization on my main channel. So yeah. So, and of course, if you're new here, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that bell button to know when all my uploads go live, and do this on the channel as well if you're new here as well. Originally, I wasn't. Now, there's a bit of story going up to when I actually went up to stay with my brother-in-law and my sister for the convention. Originally, I wasn't going to go. What changed was, at the time, this was before I made a new Facebook, but to one of my buddies, and I've mentioned him on this channel, because I bought his Part 5 Roy Burns hockey mask, which I still have it actually. Messaged me, as you know, talking about the con in Cincinnati, and he asked me, that, if you planned on going to the Indy one, then we would consider going. Something like that. It was pretty much, the whole point was, if you decided to go, so would we. And because I guess things just wasn't the same. And let me tell you, you could definitely tell it wasn't the same without me there once we get to the main convention part. Now, at the time, I was so focused on the whole laptop thing and everything else going on around that time. And also, too, right, I do have PTSD from when my dad and my sister got COVID-19 back in 2020, that, being around crowds is a bit of a challenge for me. I've mentioned this multiple times. I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I did know that I needed to conquer my demons instead of being afraid. And especially since, if we do have to live with this virus for the rest of our lives, then yeah, I don't want to force, I don't want it to beat me. I did not want it to beat me in any way. So that's why I talked to my parents about it. And then they talked to my sister and my brother-in-law, and because of how deep in darkness I was so back and forth about going, and I just decided, you know what, screw it, I'll go. And of course, it was very emotional seeing my brother-in-law and my sister again in 4 years. And the original plan was I was going to stay there for 2 weeks. That was the plan. Well, I I was supposed to go that Sunday, but I wanted to get some stuff done before then. I went the Thursday, the day before the convention. So you can imagine that at that time, this is my first time being up there, well, being down there in 4 years. And I needed time to adjust being there. Obviously, things happening at home was a lot more important at the time. So that Friday, I went super overwhelmed, and it was kind of weird being there at the same time. It was a nice weird. It was like going to the first. It was like going to that convention the first time all over again. So we go there, we grab our wristbands, we start looking, and of course, at the time, my two buddies messaged me on Instagram, letting me know that they're on their way, and then I got another one, and then I got another message from one of them checking up on me if I was okay, that they just made it to the hotel. Because again, right, I had no way to message them. Nada. For some strange reason, I never asked for their phone number. I never asked. So all I had was Instagram at the time, because even though that I had a new Facebook account, I wasn't really using it a lot at that point. Funny enough, I'm still not using it as much. Actually, I'm using my Facebook like how I used to. Actually, it's just I'm just on there to see all the cool stuff, and that's it. And I was overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed. So I noticed both of them walking into the vendor's room. We were standing outside because I was trying to collect my. Well, boy, let me tell you, I had doubts if all three of us were still friends, but this definitely showed that the strong bond all three of us had was still there. My buddy Jack Chop One, awesome dude. Definitely go check out his channel. And so I'm going to leave the link to his channel down below for y'all to check out. He literally walks up and gives me this big hug. And then he calls and then he called our other friend. Same thing. And I wasn't really talking. Because I was overwhelmed, like I said, and naturally, it felt kind of weird being around them again. It was, because it's like, things happened these past 4 years to all three of us. So, it was strange. But then Saturday came along, and I started to get more used to things again. I started to not be so overwhelmed. And actually on Friday night, I actually may not even go the next few days. And, believe it or not, Saturday and Sunday, we didn't even go to the convention when it first opened. We actually went a hour later. I got into my Leatherface costume, went down there, I got a lot of pics. For some reason, this lady wanted me to do the part 2 Leatherface shuffle that he does. If any of you have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's me dressed up as remake Leatherface. And I'm sitting here like, when would Thomas Brown here would ever do that? But maybe, just maybe, the only movie she cares about in that franchise. I don't know. You know, you would think, being a freaking horror fan, that you would kind of know the difference between all the Leatherfaces, but it's whatever. You know, I made her day. That's fine. And I did buy something that day, actually. Now, I would say what it was, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of my haul video that I currently have in the can. Even though that is a very old video, and it probably won't get views. Of course, this video will be going up on the DDC channel. Let's just say that there was this perfect alignment that I'm currently working on a costume because it was meant to be. I will say this though. 2023 was my 10th convention. So it's fitting. You know that COVID happened. You know, the con scene was kinda gone for about a year or two. Like I said, these last 4 years is a blur to me. And you know, to say that I got something that is a bit of a deja vu moment from my first convention, you know, in 2013. You can't get more iconic than that. And then even the last day, you know, it was, yeah, this next costume I'm working on is meant to be. Let me tell you that much. But I will at least tell you the story of the final day. But I will not say what it was. That's my little secret. If you all want to know so badly, you guys are going to that hall very soon. So Saturday, you know, I watched my buddy Jack Chap 1 and his girlfriend do the the costume contest. And then, you know, we went through the mask room, we went through the vendor's room. And honestly, too, you know, with my first convention back, I wasn't wanting to meet anyone. You know, I wasn't ready yet. I was overwhelmed. You know, I needed to get used to being at that convention again. And the best part of that whole weekend was later that night we were gonna go to the costume. Not costume. We were gonna go to the after party. And even though that people didn't say it, and I think I even say it in my haul video actually. I think, even though people didn't say it, you know, I think we all didn't want to be at the after party. I think we all just wanted to be up in their hotel room hanging out. And best part is, you know, I saw another friend that I met through Jack Chap 1 there as well, which was awesome. To say that this was a reunion is the only downside was that there were 2 people missing. Actually, 3 people missing from our group. Um, Hopefully next time though. So we all decided to start playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre on 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 one of my buddies' Xbox Series X's, and we were just picking on each other, and it was literally like we were all just trying to get all this, energy out that's been in us for the past 4 years now. I knew my buddy Justin and Jackson has seen each other since COVID, but this was my first time seeing them, and they also ordered wings and fries and drinks for us. It was a really awesome night, and to make it even better, a Colts game was going on at the same time, so it was definitely meant to be. And we left, and I just turned to my brother-in-law and said, I don't regret leaving this late. I don't. And Sunday, once again, it was a chill day. It was the final day of the convention, which Sundays are always the most chilled. And I remember too, we got in the car. I was going to show them my Michael Myers mask, my NAG 75K I got. And when we got in the car, I texted him, because at that point I got their numbers finally. And all of a sudden though, he goes, "Let me know when you get here. I have a surprise for you." And I was like, "Okay, will do." And of course, when I hear that, my first instinct is, what could it be? And then my second instinct is, just bring down your expectations. Do not get yourself so worked up of what it could be. And so we got there. We went inside, saw them, and he had a bag behind his back. And with that, if you want to hear the rest of the story, you're gonna have to wait till my haul video. And then of course, once the convention started winding down, and it was the final hour, we all said our goodbyes, and we all took our yearly group picture. This time with the new addition of, Jackson's girlfriend, which super nice. They definitely complement each other. And was I sad? Yeah. Because it was that realization of, well, this is the only time I am going to be able to see them is at a convention. They don't live close to me. So it is hard. It does bother me they live so many hours away. And I feel like that with a lot of people I'm friends with. And then, of course, the question came up is that, you know, if we plan on going to the one in, you know, the one that happens every March, which is the one in Ohio. And and at the time, like, that was on our minds, and I go, well, we don't know, but, I guess we'll just see what happens. I forgot why I said it. It was along those lines, and then the talk started happening about it, and then I can gladly say that, yeah, I'm going to the one in March. To say that convention, that whole, that those 4 weeks I was there, to say I needed it was an understatement. I had so much fun, and it was great feeling human again. It really was. And I've been going out ever since, you guys. So, like, do I still have PTSD? Yeah, but it's getting better every day. So, even though that the convention itself wasn't that, I'm gonna be nice about this. Even though that the convention itself wasn't that great in terms of the offerings, I do understand this was the first Mask Fest since 2019. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to that. Hopefully this next year, next year's is a lot more bigger and there's more mask people, because my plan was to get me a mask, and all I'm gonna say is I definitely achieved that goal. I wasn't able to meet Robert Englund though, but next time. Next time. And I've even thought about just going through his mail, the whole you send something to him to get autographed and he mails it back. And then just do the whole photo op thing with him. So, anyways, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. If you all have any questions about the convention I went to, just put them down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Later.